Well, for me, as a sustainable interior designer, the application of biophilic design is probably my favourite aspect of sustainable design practice. And one of its appealing attributes is that biophilic design is rooted in scientific, evidence-based research, which gives us proven, replicable and applicable solutions that we can implement as designers. It takes in colour, light, texture, form, fractal patterns. And all of those actually provide us with tools to design spaces with biophilic principles.
And biophilic design has always been quite an important but very almost unseen element of design and designing colour ranges. And in the last 10 years, it's become so much more important to create spaces in which people feel relaxed and healthy and have well-being at their heart. And colour and unlocking the potential of a building with colour alone has been the absolute focus of our work.
Well, we know that from research that's been carried out over decades that colour does have an impact on our mood and our behaviour. And I think colour and light actually are interdependent. The presence of one will inform you of how much you need of the other.
Absolutely.
And that's very much reflected in nature as well. And if we have interior spaces and where the colour and light play with each other in a really interesting way throughout the day, that's almost our cue to being alive. It's better that than having static places to live in.
It is one of those hugely important tools that's almost the last thing, and it's almost like a decorative accessory,
Yes.
but it should actually be at the fundamental part of design process, I think.
I sometimes think we can reduce the discussion of biophilic design to just being about indoor planting and the use of pot plants, and that's a critical part of it. But for me, when it's at its best and correctly applied, it takes into account a multi-sensory, rich and variable patterns and texture like you would see outside today on a really beautiful spring day.
And so we've started to introduce biophilic principles into the office, quite soft to start off with, simply with colour, and it's made such an enormous difference to the way that we feel about coming into the office, and it makes an enormous difference in the way that we actually do our work and what we achieve.
As part of healthy buildings, light and lighting strategies are already included as building tools for healthy building design, but colour isn't. I'd call for further research in the area on how we can include colour with light as part of healthy building toolkits so that we can inform in future design of our interior spaces.
That's the joy, isn't that the most exciting thing when you're working in a field of colour that is constantly developing? But biophilia has to be at the actual heart of design.